Hi everyone, glad to see you here at this little online Zoom seminar on how to buy a home with just $1,000 out of your pocket. It's a quick general overview of first-time homebuyer programs with down payment assistance. And as a quick reminder, this is for properties in Minnesota only, so if you're buying in a different state, this program does not apply for you. All right, so I am your presenter. My name is Joe Metzler. I'm a senior mortgage loan officer. I've been doing home mortgage loans for more than 25 years. I've won multiple state, local, regional awards. I was a 2014 State of Minnesota Loan Officer of the Year. So you are in pretty good hands at the moment. The dream of home ownership. You know, buying a house is pretty much everybody's dream, right? That dream of home ownership. Um, we are here. It's kind of scary, right? It can be scary. So, that's one of the nice things about these little seminars is we give you the information and kind of take a little bit of that scare away, helping you get the right home with the right financing. That's what we do here at Cambria Mortgage. So don't worry. We got you. We got you covered. All right. So the top reasons why people don't buy a house. The number one is poor credit. Right? Poor credit really stops you in all kinds of things, and especially in the home loan business. So you can see on the screen here, that for this stuff in assistance programs, if your credit score is below 640, we probably can't help you, right? You're probably going to really need to fix your credit first. But with that said, of course, when you do an application, we do pull your credit. We typically do a soft pull, so it doesn't affect anything. And when we do that soft pull, if we're not able to help you based on credit today, we do usually give you a little bit of advice on what you can do to help improve your credit. But again, we're not credit repair people. You need to do it yourself. But one of the big things that I tell people a lot is kind of what you see right there on the screen. Hey, look, if you got beat up credit at the moment, if you do nothing, nothing's going to change. Right? It'll stay beat up forever. If you do something, something will change. Your credit will improve. So, do something. All right. The other number one, or another big reason why people don't buy a house is lack of down payment money. Right? Lack of down payment. It's a huge problem. Right? It's tough to save money. We get it. We understand it. Right? Daily life. It can be tough. But what makes it worse is a lot of people think you need a lot more money to buy a house than you actually do. So this is kind of what this will help explain to you is you can typically buy a house for a lot less money than you think you need. So here is kind of the common down payments for all your regular standard loans. People always think that you need 20% down to buy a house. I don't really know where that myth comes from, but it's been believed as long as I've been in mortgage loans, which is over 25 years. You really only need that huge down payment if you're going to buy an expensive home, a luxury home. That number today is a loan currently over $726,200. So if you're buying anything under that, you don't need that big down payment. Right? Your standard regular loan can start as low as 3.5%. The FHA loan, which has been around forever, is 3.5%. VA loans for our military personnel, both active and retired, 0 down. USDA rural housing loans, which is for homes out in rural areas, again, another 0 down payment program. So even if you're paying everything out of your own pocket, you can see that your down payments may not be as big as you think they need to be. So can you really buy a house with as little as $1,000? Absolutely, positively, yes, it is possible. We here at Cambria Mortgage partner with the Minnesota State Housing Finance Agency to offer down payment assistance loans in conjunction with the main regular loan. So what does it take to get a down payment assistance loan? Well, here are some basic criteria. That first one we kind of already talked about, need a credit score of at least 640. You do need to put into the transaction an absolute minimum of $1,000 of your own money. If you're getting a smaller loan, it can be 1% of the loan amount. You have to be a U.S. citizen. Big things here is you have to meet household income limits, and we'll go over that. You have to buy a house under current maximum house limits. We'll go over that. And of course, you do have to qualify for the basic underlying loan, your standard regular loan. There are two basic assistance programs. The first one, and the most common one, is the startup program. That program is for first-time home buyers. First-time home buyer also means somebody who's not owned a home in the last 3 years. People are pretty much not too much aware of the second one, which is a step-up program. This one's pretty cool. We can use it not only for first-time buyers, but also for people who have owned a home in the past 3 years. And heck, even if you currently have a house and you're going to sell it, you can use assistance to buy the next one if you're not making much money on the sale of your house. One of the big important things about this is these programs do have some extra criteria, and one of the criteria is household income limits. So if your household makes too much money, they basically say you don't need assistance, right? So we'll go over what those numbers are in the other screens, but household income means any person on the loan, right? So if you're on the loan, we have to count your income into those limits. If you're married, regardless of who's on the actual loan, we have to use both people. So let's say it's a husband and wife and just the husband's on the loan and the wife is not on the loan, we still have to count her income into do you qualify for assistance. Let's say your boyfriend, girlfriend, and just the girlfriend is on the loan. I do not need to count the boyfriend's income. And then the other one is all parties on the loan. So sometimes on title. So sometimes there's going to be other people on the title, maybe your kids or something else. You want them on ownership of the house. Anybody who's on ownership of the house, we have to calculate their income. So what are those income limits? Well, you can see on the screen here, for a 1 to 2 person household, you can see the differences between the metro area, outstate Minnesota, 3+ people. That's for the startup program. Looking at this graph, you can see that for the step-up program, you can go significantly higher in income. 1 to 2 people, you're here in the metro, you can go as high as 175 currently. And the other big thing I want to point out is these are all valid as of March 2023. These numbers change on a fairly regular basis. They're usually going up, but if this video is a little dated by the time you see it, please call for current limits. So again, current for as of when I'm doing this in the 11 county metro area, the maximum house you can buy under these programs purchase price cannot exceed $372,600. If you're using the step-up program, wow, you can go dramatically higher, and you can also get a duplex. But so yeah, using this other program, you can go as high as $515,200. So that's pretty cool. All right, so there's two types of assistance programs. The big thing to understand is these are not gifts or grants. These are loans, and you have to pay them back. But based on household income, based on that household income number, again, there's two different kinds of programs. The really cool one is what we call the deferred payment program. That one you're going to get an assistance loan, but there's no payments today. All right, if you borrow $10,000 in assistance, you pay back $10,000, but you pay it back when you no longer, or when you sell the house, of course, you got to pay it back when you sell. But when you no longer occupy the house as your primary residence, or if you refinance, right? That's common when maybe you've been there for a long time and you need money to put on a roof, so you take out a cash out refinance. If you're going to do that, you do have to pay back the loan at that time. The other one, this one gets a little bit higher in income and how much we'll let you borrow, but this is what we call the monthly payment loan. So that one you have payments right away. So you would have your regular first mortgage payment, and then you would have the, whoops, my finger's on the screen here. Then you'd have the second mortgage payment, the assistance mortgage payment. So you would have 2 payments every month. All right, so the cool one, the deferred loan, where there are no payments due today. Here's a screen on what your household limits need to be, household income limits need to be in order to qualify. So, 1 or 2 person, you're $84,000. A 4-person house in the metro, right? You can make up to $106,000 per year and get the very cool deferred payment loan, right? No payments today, pay when you sell or no longer occupy the house. The monthly payment loan, wow, here you go again. You can jump way up in income and still qualify for assistance, right? In the metro area, currently, as of March 2023, 175,400. So that's a pretty good number. All right, so now putting it all together, what's the process? I can't emphasize this more. The very first thing you need to do is fill out an application. With the application, it's going to give us all the information we need to determine what programs you qualify for, how much house you can buy, what your payments might look like. Do you qualify for assistance? How much money you'll need to have out of pocket to make it work, which we'll show you in another screen here. So it's super, super important to do the application. There's no cost, there's no obligation, doesn't hurt anything. If it works, great. If it doesn't work, again, you didn't hurt anything by doing an application. Once the application is done and we go through everything and we determine that you do qualify, you will be given the pre-approval letter. Pre-approval letter is the golden ticket of real estate. It tells the agents that you can get a loan, and it also tells sellers that if they accept your offer, you are able to get financing. So with that pre-approval letter, reach out with a real estate agent. We can help you with that if you need that. Get with the agent. The agent will ask you questions on how much house you can buy, your wants, needs, your goals, how many bedrooms, what neighborhoods, all that kind of stuff, and you will get your house search going. Of course, eventually here you will find a house, right? You found that house, you want to make an offer. So here's a sample of what a loan would look like and how you do $1,000. So again, this is just a sample, right? So your down payment, if we do a $300,000 house using a very standard FHA loan, your down payment is only 3.5% of the purchase price. So 3.5% of a $300,000 loan is $10,500. All mortgage loans have closing costs, appraisal, credit report, state tax, county recording fee, title company, title insurance. Whew, there is a long list of closing costs. Most people understand down payment, but boy, first-time home buyers are typically a little bit surprised about closing costs. So when you add those two together, you know, you're normally going to need about, in this example, about $18,500 out of pocket to buy a house. And that amount is just too much for too many people. So in comes programs like this, down payment assistance program. So using this example, we're going to give you an assistance loan of $14,000. Now, to kick in a little bit and help make it work, we are going to ask the seller to pay closing costs. Help you pay some of your closing costs in part of your offer. Do they do that? Yes, they do. Do they do it on every deal? No, they don't. Do they do it on most deals? Sure. Okay. So if we take the $18,500 we normally need and we get $14,000 in assistance and the seller kicks in a little bit, that's going to subtract $17,500 from what you'd normally need, leaving the magic number of just $1,000 cash to close, right? This is how you do it. This is how you buy a house with just $1,000 out of your pocket. Now, a little disclaimer over here, your actual cash to close will never ever be less than $1,000, but there's a lot of factors that go into it. You know, maybe the seller doesn't want to pay $3,500, maybe they only pay $3,000, right? Well, now you'd need $1,500, or maybe I could increase this one by $500, right? So lots of options when we get into this, but this $1,000 out of pocket, this is extremely real. We do it all the time. We can probably do it for you too. All right, so with that, congratulations. You have qualified for a house. You've made an offer. Your offer's accepted. You're buying your house with $1,000 out of pocket. How cool is that? All right, so follow up. The number one thing we really need you to do is complete an application. Again, there's no cost, there's no obligation to complete an application. There's multiple ways to apply. You can physically come in. We can do it over the phone. We can do a Zoom like we're doing right now. You can use our mobile app, but the online application where you just go to our website, that's probably the most popular way. So you do the online application. As soon as it's done, we get notified. We key it all in. We put everything together, see what it's going to look like, and then we call you and go over what everything looks like. So my personal contact information, there's my phone number. If you want to just do a straight up application, you can just go to my website here, so write this stuff down. If you want to install our mobile app, which I highly recommend that you do, there's a link there. So again, get your pen out, write this stuff down. My physical office, we have 4 offices in the metro area. My physical office is the West St. Paul office. But if you do want to have a sit-down appointment, I will be more than happy to meet you at any of these locations. When you do the application, when you go to the application page, you can schedule an appointment if you want to have a sit down, and then you can pick one of these locations. So more than happy to go to any of those different locations. That's kind of it. That wraps up our basic seminar. So what we're going to do here is we'll go to questions and answers. I am recording this, but I'm going to finish up the recording here and kind of stop that. But for those online here with Zoom, we will continue on and try to answer your questions as best we can. Of course, here's your standard disclaimers that we always got to throw in there. But for those watching this on the recorded version, thanks for watching. We will look forward to sitting with you at the closing table while you're handed the keys to your new house. For those who are live on the Zoom, stay here and we will answer any questions that you have. Have a great day.